Hey guys, welcome to Hot for Health. I'm Abby.
And I'm Bray.
And we're really excited to bring you along our journey. Today, we're going to focus on doing a Q&A session.
So let's jump right into it. So the first question is, how did you guys meet?
Well, we've been friends for a very long time. Bree moved in 8th grade to my town, and we really started becoming friends more like freshman year, I would say. And then we
High school?
Yeah. High school, we became really good friends, kind of went separate ways.
When I became pregnant again, Abby was actually one of the first people that I told, because Abby has a toddler daughter who's just 2 years older than my little girl.
Mm-hmm.
And so we really reconnected then. We were both back in the same state at this point. And then postpartum, we started going to the gym together and really have revolved our life around all things health and wellness.
Yep. Yeah, that's pretty much how we got into this journey, because we both realized we had the same goals. Mm-hmm. We have the same values and morals, and we really enjoyed focusing on our well-being and our mental health.
And we're just hilarious and a bunch of fun together. So it was a no-brainer.
Bree, can you share a little bit about your background and what first drew you into the world of health and wellness?
I've answered this question 7,000 times off air with Abby. In 2017, I got really sick, and it was kind of a stress-induced sickness. So I was studying for the LSAT, which is the test to get into law school. And I was just so stressed out. My doctors told me that I developed an autoimmune disease, specifically Lyme disease. They really gave me no clarity around how to heal. So they basically just said, oh, you're stuck with this for the rest of your life. Good luck. I had joint pain. I could barely walk. I had severe brain fog. My stomach was all upset. I had migraines that I actually still have to this day. They have never gone away. And I started doing a lot of research. So I found this guy, Anthony Williams, the medical medium, if anyone knows. And he is a firm believer that your body doesn't attack itself, that an autoimmune disease is not really real. We don't have to touch on that right now. But so I started doing a lot of work on myself and what I was putting into my body. I started juicing. I started eating really organic and clean. Ever since I got sick in 2017, I've kind of had a really sensitive body, and I'm very overly sensitive to sense toxins. Abby, can you share a little bit about your background in health and beauty?
Yes. So I think like most young teens, you're not really thinking about your health and what you're putting in your body because you have such a fast metabolism. You're busy with everyday life, fitting in, doing the next trend. So I wasn't really thinking about what I was putting into my body, how it was affecting me. And that also lingered into my early 20s as well. But I would say my journey really started when I was in a really bad mental state. I moved back up north. I started definitely feeling more anxious and started having some depression. And I couldn't figure out what was wrong with me. I was not working out. I was not eating well. And those two definitely played a huge factor. I would say what really kicked me into focusing on my mental health was when I had my daughter and I was postpartum. Definitely went into a postpartum depression. And I felt like I didn't have much self-worth. I was very self-conscious, and I knew I needed to get out of that state of mind because I couldn't go on that way any longer. So I began with I actually started with Pilates. That was definitely a good intro into getting me back into working out. And then I moved over to weightlifting, where Bree and I actually signed up for the same gym. We started going together, and she definitely held me accountable. And I think vice versa, but it was definitely much easier to get going with a friend. And that's how I got into my fitness journey. And ever since, I've been very consistent with the gym. I love the gym. I think, after I work out, I feel an immediate difference in my mental state, my mental health. I feel confident. And since I've been consistent with it, I've definitely gained my confidence back. I always put it first. And I think it's really important to put yourself first and prioritize your self-care. As for beauty, I've always been into beauty, always been into makeup. I would always watch YouTube videos or little Instagram vlogs about how to do makeup, constantly trying to perfect it and re-perform it on myself. And now today, my friends will ask me to do their makeup a lot, and I enjoy doing it because I love watching their reactions of after doing their makeup and them feeling really confident in their own skin. So that's really what got me on my journey.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Next question, Abby, I'll ask you this. Was there a defining moment in your life that made you shift towards prioritizing wellness, beauty, all the things?
Yes. Kind of like I stated in how my journey kind of began, definitely postpartum. Postpartum, I had no self-esteem. I was very self-conscious with my body. There's so many changes, which if you stay tuned in the next few episodes, we definitely will be talking about our birth and labor, delivery, and postpartum experience. But definitely postpartum, and I knew that I needed to get in a better state of mind so I could show up as the best version of myself for my daughter. Also, I thought to myself, I don't want my daughter to ever feel this way. Granted, I think young girls especially, but definitely boys as well, go through, a period in their life where they aren't fully confident in themselves. They're always comparing themselves to other people. That's definitely what I was doing. And so I knew I needed to change and get in a better, headspace for my daughter. That was definitely my shift. How about you?
So my defining moment was that no matter how healthy I was eating, all organic food, I would still get sick if I was stressed. So that was really my defining moment, that I could be doing all the right things and working out, but if I wasn't taking care of like my mental health and my stress levels, it didn't matter what I was doing on the outside or putting into my body on the inside if I was just really stressed out. So managing that was a really huge part. Okay, Abby, how has your personal journey shaped the work that you're doing today?
My journey has definitely inspired me to want to put out my experience, because I feel like so many people go through the same experience that we go through, but it's not talked about as much as it should be.
What do you mean, the experience that we go through?
Your mental health, how you're feeling about yourself, your self-image, your self-worth. Definitely more in the teens, 20s. I think that's like a big part of, oneself. I think a lot of people can relate. And I feel like, speaking about it, talking about my experience can help show others that they're not alone. I want them to know that this is a safe space. What you're going through is completely normal, and there's a lot to be talked about.
I also just want to say that like being in your teens and your 20s is one of the hardest effing times in your life. Like you don't know who you are. You're feeling all of these hormones that you've never had before. There's like bullies, there's identity crisis.
So much pressure.
It's like not glamorous at all. Being a young teen, you can't have a serious relationship either because no one takes anything seriously when you're 15. Like you're not gonna marry that person. Some people do, but like
they're probably divorced.
We were being cheated on left and right when we were 15. Like
no wonder why
I
was so insecure.
Toxic, abusive relationships when we were in our teens. Like
literally begging someone to text me hi. Good morning.
God, our poor daughters, like we were going to Bible school and you'll never know.
I know
what it's like. Okay, so for me, my personal journey has shaped the work that I'm doing today. Basically, I'm an attorney. I have a very demanding job. I take a lot of supplements for cognitive function. I'm still dealing with a lot of the autoimmune or the Lyme symptoms that I've had for the majority of my like adult life, if you will. So just being very conscious about health and wellness has just shaped my day-to-day activities to make sure that I'm in optimal peak performance.
As a side note, I think it's very important to note that it is very possible to have a balanced lifestyle. It's so overwhelming with how much, how many things are trending and what's in now, what's out, what works, what doesn't. It's really easy to get confused. But I think just sticking to the basics and
absolutely
and learning what works for you, trial and error, is definitely something that can help you get to a more healthy and balanced place.
What works for someone else isn't going to work for you. Everyone's body is different, and you really have to, we'll touch on that a little bit later, but everyone is different.
Yeah, definitely. It's just having the knowledge. Seriously, it's having the knowledge and the information to make informed decisions.
Influencers make it seem like you have to do this, this, and this because this works for them, or this skincare works for them, and it's not. Everyone is the same.
Maturing is realizing that you don't need a 10-step skincare routine.
And that's on God.
So Brie, what inspired you to start sharing your knowledge or passion with others?
Not even to sound like conceited or in any way, you take it how you want to take it. All my life, like I'm thinking about when I was in elementary school, before I moved into this school district that we went into, I was getting bullied really severely, but then I remembered that people would always come to me. I remember two things. I was bullied, but then all these random kids would come to me for advice. And then just thinking about, and I don't even know what the advice was about, but I remember being like, wow, I feel like such shit because I'm being bullied. But now one person just asked me like advice on something, and that like stuck with me. And I'm like, why are people coming to me for advice? They're gravitating towards me. And I just realized all my life, like people confide in me. I don't know if it's because I had such a rocky past. Whatever you throw at me, I'm sure I've been there one way or another. I've just had like this feeling that I need to be mic'd up.
I know. You've been asking me for years now do this, start a podcast.
I have this whisper in my ear that's like, share your story with others, because there was a time I felt so alone. Even to this day, like sometimes I still feel alone in what I've been through in my life. And God put me through such a shit past to relate to others and like share my journey, because I came out on top. I'm a very successful professional. I have a family. If I can do it from such a horrible place of traumatic experiences, I firmly believe that anyone can do it. I needed to like share my journey. It wasn't even like something I wanted to do. I really feel compelled.
Yeah, and you're very passionate about, anything you get into, especially wellness related. I feel like you're very passionate and you take the time to focus your energy on actually doing the research behind
my therapist says that.
What you're doing. Yes. Which is
She's
great.
like, once you set your mind to something,
you do.
It's game over. Okay, let me ask you a question. Who or what has influenced your approach to health, wellness, beauty?
So wellness, definitely Brianna, because I will admit that, before this journey, I definitely was not focused on my wellness in the sense of what I'm putting into my body. Anyone that knows me knows that I love sweets. I love my food. Yep. Love my food, love my sweets. And I didn't realize how much that was impacting me on a daily basis, not just physically, but like mentally as well. So Brianna has definitely helped me along that journey and has totally gotten me into wanting to get into certain supplements that have definitely helped with my cognitive function and performance, which I really do appreciate, because you don't realize you need it till you find someone. Honestly, it was kind of luck. You and I reconnected for a reason. And I think that's what really got me into the wellness. But in regards to beauty, I think it was my own experience of constantly trying to perfect myself and realizing it's much more than just physical appearance. Before, when I was in my teens and 20s, I was constantly worried about what I looked like, constantly. And it was to the point of just unhealthy. I definitely had an eating disorder. I was always, I definitely body dysmorphia. And getting to the place that I am today, I realized how important it is to share my experience and relate to others.
Absolutely. And I do want to say that you literally look like a model. So
thank you.
It's easy to be like, oh, I don't need to do wellness because I'm skinny and I have a good body. But your sugar addiction is an actual problem.
Truly.
Do you know what I mean? So like, it's easy to be like, oh, well, I'm not morbidly obese, so I don't need to focus that much on wellness or prioritize that. But really, I would love for someone to look at your gut. Seriously. I want you to go to a functional medicine doctor.
I know.
I would love to see what your gut inflammation is based on all that sugar.
And Brie, what about you? Who has influenced your approach to wellness and beauty?
Do you know Melissa Wood Health?
I
think I've told you about her.
I'm sure
her husband owns
everyone.
Tao. She's really tall. She's gorgeous.
Yes.
Okay, so Melissa Wood Health, for the girlies that know, if you know, you know. She's one of the first influencers that I found online. She used to be addicted to drugs. We were both addicted to the same sort of drugs. You can follow her journey on that, but she's like in her 40s. She's absolutely gorgeous. She's sober. She has kids. She's all about movement and how like your mind, body, soul, everything is connected, and movement really gets you out of that funk. So once I saw her, that really kickstarted like the severe passion toward not just health, but wellness as well. Her message is extremely powerful. I recommend everyone to go look at her socials. My next question for Abby is, how do you balance self-care with the demands of everyday life?
That's a really good question because everyone's busy, right? So everyday life can definitely be challenging to ensure that I balance self-care, but I have always made it a priority to prioritize myself. I don't think that's selfish at all. I think that's actually should be a requirement, and I think it's extremely important. You know, it's you show up as your best self when you feel confident in yourself. So that's why I think, you know, prioritizing self-care is extremely important. So the way I do that is making sure that I have a somewhat of a routine. It's definitely hard to have a routine some days, but on a week-to-week basis, I try to make it, you know, very similar, so I can always know when I can fit in my self-care.
Absolutely.
How about you?
I simply have to find the time. So there's literally
True.
no other way around it. Like I have to wake up at 5 a.m. I don't like it. That means I go to bed at like 8:30. I have my red lights. So we only have red light bulbs in our bedroom. I have to have my red light bulbs on to get the production of melatonin going. And since I'm kind of like shot at the end of the day, I don't prioritize a lot at the end of the day. The morning, I'm so much more of like a morning person. So I just have to wake up early in the mornings. And that also means like saying no to a lot of the things that friends are doing or like going out. Like I can't be available to everyone. And it's just not fair to my family and my life if I'm constantly available to everyone. Like there's power in saying no and like protecting and prioritizing yourself.
Definitely. And that's a really good point because that's all about discipline. So there's 24 hours in the day. You can make 5 to 10 minutes.
You see that Ed Milet video where he's like, I just lived 4 days today.
I know. No, I just woke up. There's 2 minutes in and out.
I just had 3 days while this podcast is going on. So what are you guys doing?
Lived 3 days.
We just.
What are you doing?
Manipulating time. Is that what it was?
I'm manipulating time.
Dead.
No, but seriously, discipline is really key to living the lifestyle that you want to live and prioritizing yourself. Don't think it's selfish because it's not. You need to show up as your best self so you can provide and be the best version of yourself to those that rely on you.
It starts with you. It starts with you. All right, next question.
If someone is just starting their health and beauty journey, I like this one. What is the first small step that you would recommend?
Okay, so this is foolproof, very easy. The first thing that I would recommend is taking it day by day. So for example, Sober Curious right now, I'm just taking that day by day. And when you fuck up, you don't beat yourself up about it. Say you eat a bad meal, for someone who's not Sober Curious, say you eat a bad meal. Don't be like, oh, well, today's ruined now. Now I got to eat like shit for the rest of the day. Right. Don't wait for tomorrow to start your goals. Don't wait for by January to start getting sober. Don't wait for the new year to start going. Start now. If you fuck up, keep going. Do not wait for any needle to be moved. It's all in your control. No one is coming to save your ass. Start now. Live 10 lives today. Abby, what is some advice you would give someone starting, like a small step?
Yeah. So from a beauty and self-care perspective, I would say start with a very simple morning and night routine. It does not need to be some elaborate.
Don't make it my night routine.
No, it does not need to be some elaborate or expensive routine. Just simply cleansing your face to have a fresh start for the day and moisturizing and sunscreen. As I've mentioned before, those are very important.
Use your sunscreen.
Use your sunscreen, okay? We're going to be highlighting that a lot. But no, seriously, just start small by simply waking up and having a morning and a nighttime routine. That's where I would start.
Everyone should be having water with electrolytes. It makes a huge difference.
Yep. But if you're wondering where to start, if you are not knowledgeable or have expertise on, beauty, makeup, and you're really wanting to get into that, start by simply just watching YouTube videos or Instagram Reels, people that show you how to do it. It takes practice, nothing comes easy.
That's actually how I started. Yep. I started waking up in the morning, and while I'm doing my makeup, I would throw on a health and wellness or like beauty podcast. And then I slowly started implementing all these things that now it's just become like my lifestyle. But you don't need to go crazy. You just need to start doing the research for yourself and like finding out what works best for you.
And getting started. That is the biggest step.
Just start now. Live 10 days today.
10 days.
Okay, what's a misconception people often have about health, wellness, beauty that you wish you could clear up?
So one of the biggest misconceptions is that expensive products are the best products. That is just not true. You do not need to be going to Ulta or Sephora and buying the most expensive product. Again, I will say a lot of the products that I end up using, I do use, pretty much look at different beauty reels, and because I'm interested in that stuff, so I just naturally click through it. And when I think their makeup looks good or they've done a well job and they seem knowledgeable on it, I go and I test out that product. A lot of it is just trial and error and what works for you, what works with your skin type. So that's pretty much the biggest misconception though, is you do not need the most expensive makeup or skincare. Another misconception is that self-care is selfish. That is not true at all. I do not believe it's selfish for you to prioritize your self-care. It should be prioritized in your life so that you can show up as your best self.
That, I think you almost just got angry. You were like, it's not selfish.
It's not, well, I feel very passionate about it because I don't think it's selfish at all. I think it's easy to say, oh, that person's vain or that person cares way too much. It's all about care. You should care. I think it's very important.
Robert Greene says that your reputation is everything. Guard it with your life. How you present yourself is part of your reputation. Unfortunately, human nature is real. And people will judge you based off of what you look like, how you present yourself.
100%.
Don't come for me. That's a fact.
It is
of just human nature.
It is a fact. Prioritize yourself because it will reflect to other people that you care about yourself and you have discipline.
So for me, the misconception about health and wellness, obviously this is near and dear to my heart, but the misconception is that the doctors know what's best or someone else knows your body better than you. You're the one living in your body. You know exactly what you're feeling and what's going on. And there's been a lot of times where just personally my providers have dropped the ball. When I was giving birth, when I was in labor, I was told not to go to the hospital, but I was already 6 centimeters dilated. You know yourself the best. Don't listen to what anyone else says about your body. Do your own research and advocate for yourself. And don't just think that someone has a credential behind their name. They know more about what's going on with you than you.
Definitely.
What's one thing you would tell your younger self?
I love this question because I think this one is probably the most important thing that you take away. My younger self, and to anyone who's younger and viewing this, I would say, the worst thing you can do is compare yourself to others. Stop comparing yourself online to other people because most of the time they're using the best filters, the best cameras that will blur your skin. Don't compare yourself to others. Always make sure you're confident and comfortable with yourself because that will reflect to other people.
Period. And everyone is just, I don't want to say living a fake life on social media, but they're putting their best foot forward,
yes.
And that's all you see. The majority of people online are only sharing a glamorous view of 1% of their life.
They show what they want to show you. And honestly, I think the best message is love the skin you're in and take care of yourself physically and mentally.
Okay, so what I would tell my younger self is that it really just gets better with age. Like I don't even have anything written, but I'm just thinking about how like I was like in my 20s and
yes.
When I was 25, I thought I had the world by the balls. I didn't know anything. And
right.
Now I'm I'm going to be 31. It really does get better with time. That's all I have to say. Your 30s are the new 20s. All right, guys, that was our podcast, our vlog, whatever you want to call it. Thank you for tuning in. We will be dropping these every single week.
Thanks for joining Hot for Health.